In this video, we'll talk about how you can maximize the potential of TikTok and Google advertising to grow your Amazon brand beyond Amazon. And we will have two great guests specializing in TikTok and Google and all this outside Amazon traffic. It will be Tamara and Brett. You will meet them very soon. But before I continue, I wanted to mention that this session is sponsored by two great companies. The first one is Getida. They are global leader in Amazon FBA advert reimbursement and auditing solutions, and they can help you to get money back, which Amazon owes you. So check them out. You will be able to follow the link, get a free audit, and talk to them and see how much money you potentially have, which Amazon has to give you back. So you will find the link below in the description. And the second company is VAA Philippines. They help with virtual assistant services for e-commerce sellers on Amazon, on Walmart, even TikTok shops, and you can hire assistants for full-time, part-time, for a very low price in different parts of your e-commerce business. So check the link below, get free hours, 10 free hours for free. I think if you follow this link, this offer has limited time, so check them out. And now it's time to bring our two guests, Tamara and Brett. Hello, guys. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So we will be talking about TikTok and Google advertising, all this additional traffic Amazon sellers can use. Could you very shortly introduce yourself, and then we will start with presentations. Tamara.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, as you can see, I'm Tamara and I'm coming from Serbia. I'm an TikTok agency owner. When saying TikTok agency owner, we are fully focused on TikTok, social media management, advertising, UGC scouting. And yeah, I have been in digital marketing for like over 8 years. I have been in Amazon world before TikTok 4 years ago, and before that Google and Instagram. So can't wait to see as well what Brett will say and talk about Google as well.
Great, thank you. And Brett, what about you and what do you do?
Absolutely. Excited to be here, and I'm confident that this will pack a really good 1-2 punch, TikTok plus Google. It's going to be fun. But I'm the co-founder and CEO of OMG Commerce. Started about 14 years ago. I know SEO, Google ads, YouTube ads. And so I'll be uncovering, and we've got a full Amazon department. And so I'll be uncovering how you can grow on and off Amazon using Google. And one quick thing I'll tease with is Google is still Amazon's #1 source of traffic. It should at least be one of your sources of traffic as a seller. And so excited to share 5 ways to grow with Google.
Amazing. Thank you very much. So we'll continue with Tamara's presentation, and then Brett will join us. So Brett, see you very soon in a few minutes. And Tamara, while you are preparing to share your slides, I will mention to everyone that don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We recently hit 20,000 subscribers. That's why we're running this session, which is part of the Seller Fest Online Virtual Summit. And if you will enjoy the content, click like as well, and leave your questions. If you see some things you want to Tamara or Brett talk in more depth, we will have time in the questions and answers section at the end of all the presentations. So Tamara is ready. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Augustas. So as mentioned, we will talk about TikTok strategies. And I have to start, of course, with what is like TikTok's potential, actually. So as you can see here, I have added like some key points, but like you need to know that TikTok has over 1 billion active users actually globally. And it's like one of the most powerful platforms right now to reach diverse audiences. With that being said, like if you're not on TikTok, please try it out at least for yourself, and then you will see how huge potential it is for your brand. Of course, the engagement is huge there, as the algorithm prioritizes like the content that engages users, like offering higher visibility compared to other platforms. With that being said, I have to say and you have probably saw it, that the TikTok was a game changer, like in the digital world in the last 2 years. You can now see on YouTube Shorts, on Instagram Reels, as everybody wants to see the video content, like short and engaging, like the TikTok has it. So on TikTok you have much more engagement, of course, as it started there, but I have to mention that change in the game as well. And of course, unique format. As I was saying, like the short videos, just like for 10 seconds or 30 seconds. Of course, you can have like the longer videos, but like the unique format. Why? Because it's like from the user perspective, like looks very naturally how to use the product, how to benefit from some service, or to show off yourself on another let's say level, and from the another side, like how you want to represent your brand and the product. So it is like very unique and impactful format and creatives actually, and it's like opportunity for brands to connect quickly and creatively with the audience. So how to maximize TikTok organic reach. So now we're gonna just talk about the organic potential of TikTok. So of course, you have heard about the trends, and a lot of trends are coming from TikTok in the last 2 years for sure. Not only like here mentioned hashtag or challenges, but the sounds mostly, let's say. Why? Because like a lot of creators talking about the music industry are putting their teasers and the new music directly firstly on TikTok and then going on to another platform. So you want to follow the trends and to try to maximize your engagement with the audience on TikTok as well. And of course, you need to be consistent. With consistency, I mean you need to post regularly. You cannot post like, I don't know, this week, 3-4 videos and then forget about it like for 2 weeks, or not going to say like even a month. Why? Because the algorithm will slowly stop, push you. You need to be consistent in order for ball to keep rolling, actually. And of course, not only with that, you need to engage with the community. With engagement, I'm thinking about like here, responding on the comments. Like you need to also like answer some comments with the video as well. That is like a huge engagement there on TikTok. And of course, collaborate with the influencers. I know you have heard probably these days in the Seller Fest, like how to, collaborate with influencers and use the UGC videos. And of course, you need to engage with TikTok as a platform, not only trends, but like with other, users, and maybe using duets like mentioned here. The next thing would be to optimize timing. I would say it's not maybe that much important as on Instagram, let's say, but it is. So consider posting during some peak hours. How you will know what are the peak hours. You need to keep that consistency, and then you will see at which time mostly people are engaging with your brand, with your videos, with your profile. And of course you will see the analytics there in the TikTok organic profile under each video. And of course utilize TikTok tools. This one I have put the last. Why? Because it's really, really important. Like even if you're using like CapCut or any other tool for editing the videos on TikTok, just make sure to use like a text or some effect through the TikTok, and of course the music, most importantly, because you want to increase the engagement. Because let's say, for example, when you're putting some keywords on the video, the algorithm will push it, on the Google as well. I think Brett will maybe mention it there, but when someone is searching on the Google, and they can see like under the search results, they can see as well some TikTok videos. So when creating the videos, make sure to include some keywords that can be searchable on Google as well, so you can be shown on Google as well. So skipping right to the advertising on TikTok. So we have talked about a little bit, just like an intro about organic ways on TikTok, like how to do it, like what to do with your profile. But I think like the most important thing for everybody are like, can I advertise on TikTok? How advertising on TikTok looks like, what is the potential and everything. So how to actually utilize TikTok advertising to amplify your reach. There are few different types of campaigns. I have pointed out only few here. Why? Because these are, like, of course, most common and, let's say, most useful ones that will give you most results. So the most common one is in-feed ads. If you have heard about TikTok ads and listening about it and learning about it, you have heard about in-feed ads. So those are the ads that when you're scrolling on TikTok, it will show like any other organic video. The only difference is CTA button, like on this example here, it's like collection that I will talk about shortly. But you will see the CTA button. People are clicking there, led to your Amazon product page or your website. And that is like the most used type of campaign. But I would like to mention the 3 other types that are not mentioning that much enough and are really, really good campaigns to use on TikTok. First one is collection ads. That is the example that we can see here. That is a showcase of collection of your products in the video, where you are actually enabling viewers to browse and purchase directly from the platform, like the TikTok shop. Here you can actually click on the CTA, like shop now here that you can see, and you can present like a few products, like the images, title and short description. So when they're clicking on it, like you can see now, they can see the collection of your product, the price, title, and the image, and they can scroll through it and shop, let's say, somehow directly from TikTok. Of course, it needs to be connected to your website as well, to your Shopify, let's say, for example. That was the first one. The second one is reach and frequency. So when you're starting on TikTok, of course, you need in-feed ads like the regular ads. And of course, you firstly need your brand awareness on TikTok. You're new on TikTok. You want to have your brand exposed on TikTok. You want everybody on TikTok to get to know you through that platform as well, to reach the new audience, like I have mentioned. So reach and frequency can help you to control like how many times targeted audience can see the ad. So you can book it for a set period. It is usually 1 day, actually, exactly 1 day. So you can see like how many impressions and views you can get, and to how many times the targeted audience can see your ad, and how much you can benefit for a specific budget. This type of campaign is actually something in the middle when saying about the budgets, like the in-feeds and collection ads. I think the most common questions with our clients and everybody who are starting is like, how much do I need to invest? Like for the first 2 types, you need like from 1.5K, but I would say that is like low for, starting on TikTok, but the 3K will be something where you're starting. It sounds like maybe too much, but like when you see the metrics, you will see it pays off. So with reach and frequency, to get back on that, you need like at least around 15K or 20K. It is only for 1 day, but you will reserve like the huge amount of impressions and views for that 1 day to show off your brand as much as they can. And the last one is a top view ad. That is a full screen ad. So you have probably seen it on the other platforms or even on TikTok. When you're opening the app, the TikTok, it will be on the full screen for 2 seconds, and then we go right to the For You page, actually, to look like in-feed ad. So that one is like something like on the next level. It is something when you're already on the TikTok, you're already having in-feed ads, you have already, started having some good amount of followers, already, recognizable, like to start with the 2 top view ads, because they're requiring more than a 50K of a budget. So I think it's really, really important to mention this, because organic and actually the videos are the most important thing on TikTok. Please remember that. Why? Because if you're launching the ads and the video is not good, the ad will not working. So I remember someone like from the sessions has mentioned as well, like these days, if the video is not good, it will not work. And as well, if you see that the advertising is not working, maybe your product is not for it, but it's not maybe necessarily the product. It can be the video as well. So it can be a lot of things, but you need to make sure that the video looks good. With video looks good, what I mean is like to look organic, to show off your product, to have some hook, and I will tell you a little bit more about it in the next few minutes. But what you can add actually under the advertising part when you're launching the campaigns, one of the last steps is to adding something extra to your videos. So 4 different things that you can add are like really engaging. First one is that you can see here is countdown button. Like it's very, very pushy, let's say, making people buy your product as fast as they can. You can put that, for example, for the Black Friday or Prime Day to, you know, let them know this is how much time has left for you to buy our product. Second one is coupon. So usually, let's say our clients are putting it only for TikTok users, so you can easier actually track who came from TikTok with some specific coupon for TikTok, or you can do it like for remarketing purposes or forever you think it's like a good fit, but that will be my advice for the beginning. And of course, you have like here questions where you can ask them and giving them A and B option to answer you on something that can be valuable to you in order to create like a future videos or how to improve your product or which one they like more. You know, some valuable questions that you can use actually later. And the fourth one that I will mention again is display card. Display card is actually, like you can see here on the screen, like the last image, is a custom image that you can point out some important things. For example, we had with one of our clients case study where we have added there like a 20% off for Black Friday. We just wanted to point it out there, and the video was like any other video, organic, not even talking about the Black Friday, not even talking about the promotion, but we have added that on the image and the video was fully organic. So these 4 types are very, very, very cool to put on your video because you can help your ads going for better performance. What I wanted to say here is like you need to use as well like TikTok advanced targeting options. Like on any other platform, you can use gender, location, age, and you know, some, let's say, I would say basic things that are already on Google and Instagram. But on TikTok, you can use, like, for example, you can see here, like, what careers are they using, or connection types, or even like operating system and device models, device price as well. So if you know, like, what is your targeted audience, like, what is their budget, let's say, you can target them on some specific things. And I think this is cool to consider when thinking about the advertising and who is your potential audience, to think about this as well.
Tamara, what does mean carriers?
Oh, it's like, sorry, it is like, I don't know, like Mint or Orange, or, you know, what...
mobile phone, mobile data
yes.
providers.
Provider,
Okay.
yes, exactly. So, for example, if someone is even not like necessarily selling some product, maybe someone is, you know, reaching for some app, so they can use like the operating system and careers or something like that to, you know, goes for a specific audience. And with tracking ad performance, I wanted to point out like what key metrics to monitor. So these are like just some basics that you always need to monitor, and I will mention more on the next slide. But of course, views and engagement, as I have said, like more than a 60% of success on TikTok is actually your video. So if you see that the views are low, the engagement is low, likes, shares, and the comments, probably the video is not that much engaging. So you need to try some other video, like some different approach, maybe different hook, different description, you know, totally different video maybe. So that means that the video is not good. And most common thing at the beginning for everyone is like the video you will see. And of course, CTR, conversion rate, and CPA. I don't think that I need to explain much about it, but this is what you need to follow. So these are the key metrics on TikTok. And when speaking about the Amazon, I think it's really important to mention, and I was talking about this a few times in every like presentation. I want to mention attribution link. So you need to implement it, of course, to the TikTok campaign. Of course, I have to mention as well that it's not 100% working well. It will not show you 100% real data, but you need to put it there, like, in order to follow the rules, and of course to follow what's going on. You will have some, you know, info what is going on there on the campaign. But along with that, on TikTok, you need to keep up with an advertising search term report and a business report. Why? Because when creating the videos, as I was mentioning, you need to put some keywords that you maybe want to rank for, or some keywords that are important for you, along with the brand name. So because people, when they're clicking, users on the TikTok, when they're clicking on ad, they will be led to your Amazon product page, maybe on Safari or Google, and they're not logged in there. So they will pop up, and then they will go to their Amazon app and then type your brand name or that some specific keyword. I would always recommend to put the brand name to make it recognizable, rememberable on the video. So if this happened, they can like go to your Amazon, search for you, and that's how it will help for your organic ranking as well, for some specific keywords. And I know it's like maybe risky, let's say, but believe me, it pays off, and I will mention some case study at the end. And of course, some business reports to follow your orders as well on Amazon, as well as on TikTok, and attribution link. So you need to combine all of that together in order to know like if the campaigns are working or not.
Tamara, I have one clarification. When you say to put keywords on the video, inside the video production, or some text as a description?
So I would recommend on the video, because the description, people are maybe reading it, maybe not. But if you're putting it in the first 2-3 seconds, or even first like 4 seconds, let's say, your brand name, it needs to be recognizable and put on the video as well, some keywords that you want to rank for. So on the video.
So it's part of the video frames. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So going on to content creation, again, on the organic way, because it's like really, really important. So what is the best practice for content creation? Of course, you need to know your audience, to know like what is the interest of your audience and behaviors, so you can target the audience through the video and know like how to actually do the storytelling of the video, like to create the narrative and to have the like scenarios, like how to put the video, the descriptions and everything in order to approach better to your audience, like as I mentioned here, like emotionally with the viewers, to connect, so they can stop, look your video, and they can engage with the product and your brand. And of course, with the visual appeal, I mean, use the high quality visuals, not like necessarily needs to be high quality, like, I don't know, some expensive cameras. It can be with like just good quality camera from your phone as well. And it needs to be like a clean, don't like be messy in the background, or to have like, black lighting. Just make sure it's like maybe some vibrant colors and to look good, let's say, aesthetic. And of course, you need to be authentic. You want to represent your brand as it is, what your brand stands for, and of course, what is your product, to be authentic and unique. Don't like copy other guys on TikTok as well. And of course, to include like some call to action and keywords they have been mentioning, like on the video keywords, and call to action like to do something, to visit your account or website, or look at this product, or go on our Amazon, or check the link on our bio, or something like that, that will make them engage somehow on other way. And most two important things, let's say, one of the most two important things is hook. Like hook is, like you can see, Excel trick to impress your boss. So it is the hook at the beginning, in the first 2 seconds or 3 of the video, that will make users stop. So they will see some headline, actually hook, that will, make them hook on that and stay for the rest of the video. So this is like really important to think about it. Like, did you know this, or did you know that? This is how I did this and that, to make them stay and look the whole video. And of course, you need to have a clear view on your product, like to show the full package, to show your, name of the brand or of the product, and to show it in maybe different angles, but to have a clear view on the product, to know like users what is going on there, and not to just like, be messy with the camera and everything. And what I wanted to mention today is like shortly about a success story, our success story with one of our clients. It's Marbotic, and as you can see here, you can check it on the link. Type there on TikTok for business. As we are TikTok official partners, we had, let's say, lucky to have like a success story being there. But I wanted to mention this was an Amazon seller, and their objective was, of course, to boost brand awareness on TikTok, because they were present there for like, I I think like a 6-7 months was present there, and it was like okay, but not like something special. And of course they wanted to increase their sales because everybody wants to sell at the end. So their first targeted ROAS was 3. And what was the solution? So they came to us, and we were like, of course, creating like some creative and diverse content that you can see one of the examples of the videos, and you can check them on TikTok as well. So the creative and diverse content that will show what is the product and how you can use it, how you can benefit. So this is the product that they're selling on Amazon, are those stamps, and the app was a side product on the, you can subscribe and download it on your tablet. So iPad actually. So they wanted to show like the kid playing it with it and how the kid is benefit. So the content needs to be really engaging and showing off what is your product. And of course, we have used the TikTok ads and some features to boost the conversions. What were the features? We have used the display image that I have mentioned a few minutes ago. So you need to consider those few things, not necessarily on every video, but think about when you're creating the campaigns to try at least one of them and to see you know, how it will go for you. And I'm sure that everybody will see, you know, at least a little bit more engagement when they're adding some extra on TikTok ads. And of course, the results were, we were reaching the target, exactly that one. Click-through rate was 1.16, and they have raised their Amazon sales 3 times. With that being said, they have actually sold their business like few months after, because they were growing rapidly because of TikTok. We could see it like on all the performance like tracking, and they have sold it to another company. So this is like shortly of one of the success stories. And what is the potential strategy for you that are watching now? Like I have added like a few key points. Of course, you need to start like let's say you're new on TikTok, you just want to create your profile. Of course, you need to be present there organic. You don't necessarily need to be, but I would always recommend to be present on TikTok with organic profile to create like diverse and creative content, to post like frequently. I have give you this like example. I would say at least 15 videos monthly. There will be each 2 days actually, to be consistent, as I like to say, to keep ball rolling. So you need to be consistent and to see, like to actually test what type of videos are going good, that are having you know, good views, good comments, shares, and likes. But don't expect to go viral at the beginning. When I'm saying viral, not like 1K, but a few thousand of Ks, because you are new. So you will probably see like around 1K views, like organically. 2-3 years ago, you could see like much quicker, better views and engagement. But of course, when advertising started like around 3 years ago, they have slowed that down slowly. So they are requiring from you, of course, to start advertising if you want to push yourself more on TikTok faster. So of course, when you're present already on TikTok, you can start advertising, but I will always recommend to any of our clients that are starting with us, and if you're starting, to start with on the first month or even first 3 months, just to build your brand on TikTok and advertising for follower campaign. So to gain the followers who are, you know, tend to follow brands like yours, products like yours, and to engage with them, and then to start with the conversions. Why? Because when they're clicking on ad, checking on you, they want to see that you are already having some, you know, amount of people there, having some trust, having something to check it out, like the few different videos from the few points of view, to have that, let's say, connection with you as a brand, so you can easier get to the conversions, of course. And just briefly to mention, it's TikTok shop that is like good thing to have if you are selling something. So I would recommend to create a TikTok shop in US and UK, and I have added some spoiler here, is like soon in the Spain. I know there were talkings about Germany and France, but they have left that for the next year in the Q1 probably, but until the end of the year you would see it in the Spain as well. And of course, to integrate this into your marketing, like cross promotion across other social media platforms. If you're having Instagram, to talk about TikTok more there, like, hey, we're on TikTok as well, put it on your website and wherever you can, and multi-channel like synergy to integrate TikTok campaigns with influencer partnership and other digital strategies as well. And of course, to continue with learning. With that being said, I'm thinking about like staying updated with trends, like scroll through TikTok, or if you're having someone like if it's an agency, make sure that they're following the trends, that they're keeping up with the TikTok, not just like doing whatever UGC videos for you. Or if you're having someone in-house, to be present on TikTok, to watch, to scroll, to be up to date, and to see what are the trends and new features and how the algorithm is changing, because it's changing non-stop. So that will be from me, and thank you very much, and I will give the word to Augustas now.
Thank you very much, Tamara. We have a few questions for you, which we'll address later. And now I will invite Brett. We will talk about Google advertising, and see you, Tamara, a little bit later.
See you soon.
Bye. All right, so Brett, you're welcome to share your screen. And I just want to remind everyone that if you have questions to Tamara or Brett about Google or TikTok advertising, leave them in the comments below. We will answer them later if you watch replay. If you're watching live, we will answer them right away after Brett's presentation. I see your screen, full screen. Very good. So let's go.
Awesome. We're really excited to talk about 5 ways to grow your brand beyond just the normal Amazon tactics and strategies. And so we're really going to be digging into Google and YouTube. Now, I gave a brief intro before, but just really quickly, I'm the CEO, co-founder of OMG Commerce, team of about 50. We've got full Amazon departments. We do full service Amazon, but we're also one of the top spenders on Google and YouTube ads. We manage about $100 million a year in ad spend. And so all the strategies and ideas I'm going to share today are based on lots and lots of data. Worked with some really great brands over the years, like Boom by Cindy Joseph, Native, and many, many more. So I think it's really important to talk about right out of the gate is, are we building a brand on Amazon, or are we just trying to make a sale? Either one is valid, but I think in the long run, building a brand is better. Building a brand is where you can really build enterprise value and maybe one day sell your brand. If you're just making a sale, there's some disadvantages there. So here's how I would frame the two. So if we're just making a sale, we've probably got pretty good rankings and we got pretty good reviews and there's few complaints and we're making money, we're making sales. But there's probably little differentiation between our product and our competitors' products. We're probably competing on price a lot. And when someone buys our product, they're probably more thinking about Amazon than they're thinking about our brand. Versus if we're building a brand on Amazon, this is where repeat purchases are happening. So someone buys our brand, they're delighted by it. They're searching for you by name, not just category searches, but they're searching for your brand name related to your product. And there's probably word of mouth growing for your brand. Now, the advantage is when you do this, new product launches work better, right? So you've got an established brand, you got followers, you can launch new products much easier. You can price your product in a way that allows you to drive sales and profits. It's not just a race to the bottom. Of course, we got to be competitive, but with a brand, you can really charge more of what you want to charge. And this really allows for sustained growth. So a couple of my favorite examples, these are brands that were born on Amazon. One is Anchor. Anchor charging units and charging devices, really great. Simple Modern, I'm friends with one of the co-founders. They're a drinkware brand, and they've sold 500 million drinkware products in the last 8 years or so. And now they've moved beyond just Amazon. They sell in retail stores and D2C, but they started on Amazon. Now, to build a brand on Amazon, it's not just demand capture. And that's really what most people who are just making sales on Amazon are doing. They're just capturing the demand that exists on Amazon. So they're getting organic rankings, they're running sponsored product ads and sponsored brands, all of which is great, but they're just capturing demand versus also generating demand. And we can generate demand by using other platforms, or we can grab some demand that's existing outside of Amazon and drive it to Amazon to further our brand growth. And so I'm going to talk about Google ads and YouTube ads, spend a little more time on Google ads. I think that's more applicable to most sellers. We will talk a little bit about YouTube because it's interesting and there is good stuff there once you're ready. So what's interesting to a lot of people is that 86% of shoppers say they touch Google in their shopping journey. It may not be the place they start, although it often is. And it may be that they buy on Amazon, but they're going to touch Google at some point in time in the process. YouTube, essentially everybody is there, right? My 7-year-old son is on YouTube. My 74-year-old dad is on YouTube. You reach about 90% of the population. And the two fastest platforms growing on YouTube are connected TVs, so people watching YouTube on their smart TV, and then of course YouTube Shorts. And in fact, and this will surprise a lot of people, on smart TVs, more people stream YouTube than any other platform. So more people are watching YouTube on their smart TV than are watching Netflix. So huge opportunity for brand building there. Boom by Cindy Joseph, longtime client. When we helped them launch on YouTube, they grew total sales about 30%. And they'd built such a nice brand that when we launched them a few years on Amazon, they got to about 5 million, like between 5 and 6 million in sales that very first year. All right, so let's talk about strategy number 1. This is running Google Ads directly to your Amazon listings. I mentioned this in the preview, in the setup, but the number 1 advertiser on Google, the number 1 spender on Google Ads, and they spend almost $1 billion a month, $1 billion with a B, is Amazon. So Amazon is investing heavily in Google Ads. So if you're not, they know something that you don't. What's really interesting is that millions of product searches start on Google, even if someone is planning to buy on Amazon. So if you look at what are the most searched words on Google, YouTube is number 1, but then Amazon is number 2. So that includes all search queries, all queries that people make that include Amazon. It's the number 2 most searched thing on Google, which is fascinating. I love outdoor spaces. We got an outdoor kitchen. We got an outdoor deck that we love to spend time on. And so looking at speakers outdoor. And so I started typing in outdoor speakers on, and then the search suggests, the first one is on sale. People often looking for sales. The second most popular search here is outdoor speakers on Amazon. So people starting on Google, but going to Amazon. And the truth is, for a lot of people, the internet just begins on Google. So what are the advantages here? Well, the advantages of running Google Ads to Amazon Ads is, one, it can boost your rankings. And this is often a part of a lot of SEO strategies that people use on Amazon to say, let's get some outside traffic that's likely to convert, send that to our listing, and boost traffic. Amazon loves external traffic, especially if it converts. It also can supplement Amazon PPC. Listen, we're huge fans of sponsored products and sponsored brands. You got to do it. I mean, if you look at a search results page on Amazon, it's loaded with ads. So you've got to be there, but this can help supplement that and in some ways give you an edge. So here's an example. This is a client of ours, longtime client. They grow a lot D2C, but growing on Amazon as well. And so when we look at this search ad, so this is a search ad on Google, you can see the URL there is amazon.com. So people that see this ad know this ad is going to Amazon. So comparing this ad to another search ad, just going to their .com, this has a 12.7 click-through rate. Now, if you're not familiar with Google, like that's off the charts good. It's about 10x better than other ads they're running. So we got other ads that are in the 2.5 to 5% click-through rate. It's pretty common with Google search ads. So this ad getting 12.7% click-through rate, that speaks to the power of someone seeing an ad and saying, oh, it's Amazon. All right, that makes sense. I'll click on that. I trust that. So high click-through rate from these ads. To do that, then you really need to incorporate some Amazon into your ad copy. Obviously, you saw in that ad that the URL was listed as Amazon. That breeds trust. But then also in our responsive search ads, and basically all this means is we're giving Google a bunch of headlines and a bunch of descriptions, and then they're kind of mixing and matching those to hopefully create an ad they think customers will click on. So put some things on there that include, hey, this is a top rated on Amazon, a favorite on Amazon, things like that can help your click-through rate. And so in general, when we're setting this up, we're setting these campaigns up. If you're familiar with Google Ads at all, A lot of people are going to be teaching you, hey, choose the bid strategy of maximize conversions or maximize conversion value or something along those lines. For these campaigns, you really need to choose maximize clicks. And that's because Google and Amazon, even though they've got like this relationship where they're both benefiting from each other, they're definitely frenemies, right? Not just purely friends, not purely enemies, kind of in between. And so choose maximize clicks, because we're not going to be able to pass, Amazon's not going to pass conversion data back to Google. Just like Tamara mentioned, we're going to use Amazon attribution, but we're going to choose maximize clicks in our setup there. And so then, yeah, you do need to set up Amazon attribution, get those unique links for your campaigns and even down to the keyword level, so that you can start to see performance for your Google ads, so you know what to optimize and how to improve. And so, we see a wide range of success here. Some people use Google ads just to launch a new product, and they kind of use it to jumpstart it and jumpstart the SEO and things like that. Some people spend a couple thousand a month on Google ads, some less. We've worked with brands that spend 150 to 200,000 a month on Google ads directly to their Amazon listings. And so it really just kind of depends on both the size of your business and how much you want this to help turn your flywheel. Now, this is a variation. So this is tip number 2. This is a variation or more of a detail on how to run Google Ads to Amazon. I think this is probably the place to start. So one way to approach Google Ads to Amazon is to only bid on keywords that include the word Amazon. Meaning, if I sell protein powder, I'm not just going to bid on Google for broad protein powder keywords. I'm only going to bid on keywords that also include Amazon, because then I know someone is on Google, but they want to buy on Amazon. And so, actually another great example here, if I'm searching for protein powder, if I type protein powder on Google and stop and let the search suggest fill in the most popular suggestions, protein powder Amazon is the most popular suggestion there. So it's the most common protein powder search done on Google is people looking for protein powder on Amazon. Here's what we see. If we're going for, so we saw the tremendous success of that ad I showed before, gets even better if we're only bidding on Amazon keywords. So that would be like bed sheets Amazon, protein powder Amazon, outdoor speaker Amazon, things like that. That'd be our only keywords we'd focus on. So CPCs are 50 to 60% lower. So if I'm paying $3 for my non-Amazon keywords, I'm paying $1.50 or less for my Amazon keywords. Click-through rates are 3 times higher. So just kind of like I showed before. And that's part of what drives down the CPC. So Google will reward you. If a lot of people click on your ad, if your click-through rate continues to go up, or if it just stays high, Google will reward you with a lower CPC. It's part of Google's ad rank algorithm and quality score algorithm, really to incentivize good ads. They win if you write a good ad, customers win, and then you win with lower CPCs. Conversion rates also 30 to 40% higher. So lower CPCs, higher click-through rate, better conversion rate for focusing on Amazon-only keywords. So if this is your first venture into Google and Amazon ads, this is where I suggest you start. All right. Number 3, this probably comes a little bit later if you've got a brand established. Maybe you're running TikTok ads, TikTok to Amazon. Maybe you've got some organic content out there. Maybe you're running Facebook ads as well. So now you've got people searching for your brand name on Google. Now, this is powerful because, and I'm a big fan of P&G. We work with P&G brands. Mark Pritchard, head of global marketing at P&G, said, hey, one of the most surefire ways to know that people love our brand is if they're searching for our brand by name. But what happens if someone searches for your brand by name on Google, they click on an Amazon ad or an Amazon listing? What happens? Well, this was a real example. I pulled this example today just so there's something fresh. Portable Bluetooth JBL speaker was my search. I clicked on this Amazon listing. Now, this was an organic Amazon listing inside of Google, but the same happens if it's an ad. So I clicked on that. So again, I was searching for JBL speakers on Google, clicked on that listing, and this is what I was directed to on Amazon. It's just a category results page for portable Bluetooth speakers. And right at the top, it would be my nemesis Bose. If I was JBL, would be my nemesis Bose. So competitor. Not really what I'm hoping for. What I would prefer is if somebody searches for JBL Bluetooth speaker, I'm going to send them directly to my product page or to my storefront where I've got all of my products listed. Okay, so let's do a little brand defense there, right? That's what that's all about. That's defending our brand, because just because someone's searching for you by brand name doesn't mean they're necessarily going to buy. Maybe they thought they wanted to buy, then they saw Bose and they were persuaded to buy a Bose product. All right, let's talk YouTube for a minute. This definitely comes later. Just like Tamara said, it really comes down to creative here. You got to have great YouTube ads, not expensive YouTube ads, but just good YouTube ads. And this really comes down the road, in my opinion. I think you got to max out your Amazon ads, then do Google search, maybe then TikTok, then YouTube. But YouTube can be extremely powerful. It's just not the first thing to do. YouTube ads are different, though. The creative here, you can't just take a TikTok ad and run it on YouTube. A TikTok ad can work on YouTube Shorts, but not the rest of YouTube. So generally, we're seeing ads that are 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes on YouTube. Those are the ads that are driving conversions and driving sales. Really, though, the story you tell, way more important than production value. So you don't have to spend $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, although we have lots of brands that do, on their ads, like the production quality, but it does need to be good. And so I'll play just a few seconds of this ad to give you an example. Actually, as I play that, does the sound come through? Okay.
Yes, we heard sound.
Okay.
Here we go. This is insane. This is so bright. It doesn't really matter what your hair type is. A product like this is going to work for you no matter what. Today, I am dyeing my hair for the first time with Overtone.
It's a semi-permanent color depositing conditioner. It's vegan, it's moisturizing.
It's really, really easy to use. You cut my hair in like 6 sections.
I applied it on my dry hair.
You want to make sure that you are fully saturating the product on your hair.
Okay, so I'll stop there. But what does this ad do? Well, first of all, it leads with excitement, right? You've got this, avid customer of Overtone, which is a coloring conditioner, and she kind of squeals, I'm coloring my hair today, right? And I think that really captures the excitement. I've never colored my hair, so I'm just guessing. One of my daughters does. But that's probably what you feel like. Hey, I'm going for a new color. This is an exciting day. And then we get right into, hey, this will work for any hair type. It shows the hair types. Then this is kind of a mashup of influencers and real customers. So we see someone going purple, someone going pink. We see men, we see women. We see a little bit of their entire customer mix. We see them using the product. It also kind of shows you how to use it, because there's probably some questions here like, is this complicated? Can I mess it up? If I'm trying to go pink, am I going to end up, with some weird color like green or something? And so really a great ad. We ran this a lot on YouTube with a lot of success. So this may look expensive. It really wasn't. So this was taking influencers that they already had kind of through an affiliate program, taking real customers who had sent in footage, and then mixing and matching that with product photography and other footage. Now, I'll show an even simpler one. This is for long-time client, Live Bearded. Love these guys. I'll play just a little bit of this ad.
Products, with products, before products, after products. My beard without products. My beard with products.
Without products, with products, without products, with products.
If you're considering trying Live Bearded products, I want to take just a couple minutes to walk you through these products, demonstrate firsthand how they work on your beard, and really show you how easy beard grooming can be. Step 1, beard wash. All right, guys, just like you wash the hair on your head, you need to wash your beard. Keep it clean. The only difference is the soap that you're using. Avoid bar soaps, body washes, traditional shampoos.
So I'll kind of stop there. A couple things I love about this. One, all of these were shot in the bathroom with an iPhone, every single one of these clips. And so what's also nice is you've got different guys, like different size of guys, different hair, beard color, things like that. And they're showing their beard without product and with product. And it's a noticeable difference. So this before and after approach is really, really effective. And so then after just a few of those, what was that, 4 or 5 before and after photos? This is Spencer. He's one of the founders. He gets on and says, hey guys, I want to share 3 things you need to know about using product in your beards. And then it's just a tutorial, and he shows kind of how to do it. And so this is showing some nice proof of before and after. You're educating a little bit here. So this type of content, very easy to produce, very low cost. And this ad worked for years on YouTube. And so really like this. Sometimes we, the video is very important to get the right video, but sometimes we overthink it. This doesn't need to be TV level quality. It does need to deliver value. It needs to be clear, deliver value like this. This was visibly clear and audibly clear, but you don't have to spend a fortune on YouTube ads. Quick example, we had a hair care product, not one of the ones listed here. They were a big spender on Facebook, pretty big seller on Amazon. They also sold D2C and in retail stores as well. They can never get YouTube's ads to work. We came in, helped retool their creative, relaunch their campaigns. It quickly became the number 2 source of growth for their brand. But then something interesting happened. They had to pause YouTube for a while due to some internal reasons. So they paused YouTube. We were also managing their Amazon. So we had fully grown their brand on Amazon as well. And when they paused on YouTube, we saw search volume for their brand get cut in half. So what's interesting about those YouTube ads, they were going to their D2C site, not to Amazon. But turning off YouTube had a huge negative impact on branded searches on Amazon. It just goes to show that when you're running YouTube ads, you're going to see sales on Amazon regardless of where you directly send that traffic. Another example, I know the infomercial space really well. I did a podcast, E-commerce Evolution. This podcast with my buddy Jordan Pine, episode 230. Talk about infomercials, and this is kind of what new infomercial products expect. So if I'm launching a new potato peeler, some kind of whiz bang microwavable something or another through an infomercial, this is what I expect. I expect if I run that commercial on TV, 50% of my sales are going to end up on Amazon. 30% of those sales are going to be D2C, and 20% are going to be over the phone. People do like to call and purchase. And so people like to buy on Amazon, right? No, that's not news to us. We sell on Amazon, right? But just as you run YouTube ads and get more people interested and aware of your product, it's going to naturally drive sales to Amazon. The other thing we notice is if you're running other forms of Google ads, search, shopping, other things like that, those will start to increase as well. This is for True Earth. We help them launch on YouTube as well. When we got to about 50,000 a month in YouTube spend, brand conversions went up 60%, shopping revenue went up 300%. So YouTube doesn't always drive a direct sale, meaning people don't necessarily click and buy directly from YouTube, but YouTube does drive sales in a variety of other ways. Think halo effect, think overall lift. That's really where YouTube is magical. All right, number 5, Performance Max, or lovingly called PMAX in the industry, although it's not always loving. This is one of those traffic types, one of these campaign types that's a little bit controversial. It's a little bit love it or hate it with a lot of advertisers. I've heard this called Performance Meh instead of Performance Max, but it can work for you. So for those who don't know, very quickly, Performance Max is really just a combination of basically all the Google ad channels, so search, shopping, display, YouTube, Gmail, Maps, kind of the whole gambit, all rolled into one campaign type. Now, a couple things to think about here is you can't run shopping ads, so the product listing ads, you can't run those to your Amazon listing. Only Amazon can do that. Google requires that if you run a shopping ad, you have to prove that you own the cart. And so only Amazon can do that, but you can run search ads, you can run display ads, you can run YouTube ads, and you can run them inside of Performance Max. So this is what we call a no feed ad. Basically, your product feed is all the details and data about your products that then populates a product listing ad or Google Shopping ad. If you just set up Performance Max and don't add a feed, then your Performance Max campaign won't run shopping. And then you can lean into search and display and YouTube. And so, again, this isn't the place to start. I would start with Google Ads to your Amazon listings, and I would definitely start with Amazon-only keywords. But then this is something to add to the mix, because I was just at Google Marketing Live, kind of invite-only thing in the Bay Area, and talking to some of the product managers at Google, and they said, hey, Performance Max, Google favors Performance Max campaigns. So even in the search results, so determining which ad goes where, Google's going to favor Performance Max a little bit. And so another reason to start testing this, once you see some success with Google Ads, run some no-feed Performance Max campaigns where you can try to benefit from the favor that Google gives to Performance Max. So something I would definitely consider. This was a lawn care kind of outdoor brand that we launched PMAX with. About a 200% return on ad spend. This was actually perfect for them. I know that may be great for some, terrible for others. The point here is it worked for them, and we got this to about 10,000 a day in spend during their peak season. But it was all through Performance Max. So this is kind of the formula here: right audience, right assets, and the right structure. Performance Max will win. Now, a couple free resources for you. This is some top YouTube ad examples. So if you're thinking, hey, maybe I'll run YouTube in the future, or maybe I'm ready right now, no email opt-in or anything here. Just scan the QR code. You'll be taken right to the PDF that you can peruse, but it has links to some of our favorite YouTube ads, kind of give some formulas for YouTube ads and why we think some of these top ads performed so well. And then if you want to chat, we'll talk anything strategy related, YouTube, Google, Amazon, whatever. Love to chat with you. And so there's a QR code for that as well. But I think with that, that'll wrap up my portion, and I'm ready for Q&A if you guys are ready for Q&A.
Yeah, we're ready. Thank you very much, Brett. Nice content. I will bring Tamara back as well. Hi, Tamara.
Hi.
So, before we go to the Q&A, I wanted to mention that this event we did in collaboration with 40 Amazon experts, or like Brett and Tamara, also of Amazon experts. And with all of them, we created a VAP package where every expert sent to us additional video with additional walkthrough, template, strategy, or deep dive, or case study. So lots of things you can learn. And also Tamara and Brett also provided us additional video. Tamara, can you give an overview? Gives us, yeah, I will show this to the screen with your video. What did you share in your VP video? It's another 18 minutes of content.
Yeah, so you can check like some upgraded,
the type.
Yeah, you can check some upgraded strategies. I don't have like any presentation showed there. I have just been talking about like how to actually get on the next level. Like today we have talked more about like how you're starting on TikTok, what you need to include to make sure that you have and to include on TikTok. But on that video, you can check like some additional strategy, like how to get on the next level on TikTok, some extra tips.
Great, thank you very much. And Brett, what was your video about?
Yeah, great. So what I looked at here, I mentioned that you can't really run shopping ads or the product listing ads to your Amazon listing, but if you're like most of the brands that I know, you're starting to run ads off Amazon as well, meaning, and not just off Amazon to Amazon, but off Amazon to your Shopify store or BigCommerce store or whatever. And so in this video, I do a deep dive. It's brief, but a deep dive into how to run Performance Max to a Shopify store, how to run Google Shopping to a Shopify store or BigCommerce, whatever platform you're on. And really, I think it's the most consistent, most reliable traffic if you're trying to build that D2C side of your business. And so I think it's a great complement to an Amazon business launching on Shopify. And I think I show you the best traffic source to start with there.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And now I think we can go back to the questions. So, by the way, for the VAP package, you will find the link below in the description. And also I typed it in the chat as well. So we have few questions from the audience here. I will activate the first one. Subhan is asking Tamara, how do you see the latest Amazon plus TikTok partnership where TikTok, maybe you can explain what's happening. Maybe not everybody knows.
Yeah, so that's like the burning questions in the last, I would say, maybe even 6 months. Like, what will happen with TikTok in the US? You know, what is going on with an Amazon and TikTok? How you can actually do it on the right way? Are they going to ban it? Blah blah blah, all of those things. But lately, they have managed to have much better partnership. And as I was saying, like in the beginning of the year, and still will do, like I don't think the TikTok will go anywhere soon. So Amazon was partnered with TikTok, and soon, if not already, but I think it will be soon, like live to actually be able to connect your TikTok shop with an Amazon, so people can actually buy from your Amazon as well, and the tracking will be much easier. I mean, you can include it in the attribution already, but they are leveraging that partnership and giving you more extra inputs on TikTok and data sharing. So I think that partnership will only grow, not necessarily turning it off. So I think it will be better by the end of the year for sure.
Yes. Let's hope it will be useful for Amazon sellers as well. And actually, I have another question about TikTok Shop. You mentioned that somehow TikTok Shop, and you mentioned Shopify. So do you need an external e-commerce site when you have a TikTok Shop, or TikTok Shop already has a e-commerce embedded?
Yeah, so it will be like, it's easier to have like TikTok Shop if you're having website. You can easily connect those two, because that was the first step and first thing when TikTok Shop was launched. So firstly, you were able to connect with your website, and it was easily running and sent to the clients from TikTok. But you don't need to necessarily have like external e-com site, like a question here, to be connected to TikTok Shop. You can do it like from your own, like sending it, like just implement all the products and prices and names of the product, blah blah blah, on TikTok Shop, and you can actually send it by yourself or some other agency. And I know in the UK and US they have like their own warehouses now there, so it can be fulfilled by their warehouses, like TikTok warehouse from the UK and US, soon in Spain as well, probably starting next year with the warehouse. But as I said, you don't need like external e-com site. It is just easier and the quickest way to implement it and to do it.
Great. Okay. Thanks for clarification. Brett, a question about ad budgets. Do we have an ad budget guideline? Say what share of total advertising budget, and then split between TikTok, Google advertising, since at the end of the day, margins are finite too.
Yeah, it's a really great question. I think this depends on a few caveats, or depends on a few details for your business. In general, for Amazon brands, when we look at the advertising mix, most of the budget is going to sponsor product ads, right? They work, consistent returns, you capitalize on the traffic there. So that's often 60 to 70+% of the total budget goes to sponsor products. Sponsor brand ads and sponsor brand videos, what we really love there, that's going to often take 10 to 20% of the budget. And then you're gonna have a little bit that's maybe in remarketing or DSP. What we recommend then, so that's your advertising that's on Amazon to Amazon. Generally speaking, what you're gonna spend in Google ads to Amazon is gonna correlate to one of those smaller areas. So more like what you're spending on sponsored brand video, or maybe what you're spending on remarketing, something like that. So probably closer to 10% of your overall budget, about that amount, could go to Google ads. And maybe that's going to be more or less depending on what your strategy is. If you're an established seller and you got budget and you got momentum on a lot of products and you're launching a new product and you want to get that flywheel on that product turning faster, then maybe you'll invest in Google at a loss for a while to try to get that ranking up. But that's not what you do if it was your first product or something. So generally speaking, I would put a lower percentage towards Google. So maybe 10% of your overall budget. We've seen some brands that go as high as 20-25% there. But yeah, that's how I'd look at it. I can't really speak to TikTok. I don't know what Tamara would recommend there. My general philosophy is like whatever's working, whatever's moving new sales and overall growth, and what's supporting our overall tacos goal, then I'm in favor of. But that's how I would view Google Ads.
Tamara, you want to talk about budget for TikTok?
Yeah, I would agree with Brad as well. Like, just wanted to add about the TikTok. Of course, you need to calculate like what is a good, tacos, or some metrics that are important for you, like to see, do you have like a space for the TikTok, let's say. But I would like to mention really important thing that I have mentioned on the presentation earlier is like just keep in mind that in order to start on TikTok, the minimum budget that has some sense in order to, have some good performance and see some return on investment and good numbers is 3K per month. So if the 3K somehow, fits into your budget and you can see that it will, pay off at the end, of course, start with it.
Great, thank you very much. Actually, Diego is asking similar question. Like, let's say if they are starting from zero, the first product, how would you divide all this advertising budget across all the platforms? But if it's maybe Amazon seller, maybe they should just focus on Amazon first. What do you think?
Yeah, usually I think that's the case. Like I can be very clear about YouTube, and I love YouTube. I actually just earlier this week I was speaking at the YouTube offices in LA to some big brands talking about how to grow on YouTube. So I love YouTube. If you're starting from zero, don't spend any money on YouTube. You're not ready for that, right? So to invest all of your money in Amazon ads, or if you feel like, hey, this is a really unique product, unique offering, unique something, I want to kind of jumpstart it, and I've got a little bit of budget that I could run Google ads to Amazon, then that's not a bad idea either. But probably starting from zero, you're just going to invest fully in Amazon ads. Maybe you're running some email marketing if you get an email list and things like that. Some organic content is generally what I would suggest if you're starting from zero.
Yes. And
Yeah,
Tamara, okay, you also wanted to add.
Just wanted to say, like, 100% agree on that. If you're just starting, like, on Amazon, just focus your budget 100%, on Amazon at the beginning, because you want to be successful there. Because if you're running external traffic to your Amazon product page, you need to make sure that you already have some reviews, some sales, that you're certain, like that, that your images, descriptions, everything about the product and your page is, set good, starting selling on Amazon in order to sell then on external traffic.
Kind of to optimize properly the Amazon listing, and for this you will need some time to test things and then bring outside traffic. Arun is asking about social media. So running Amazon brand is a lot of work, probably full-time job. Do you have a recommendation for daily activity plan for social media which can give a maximum return per minute invested? For example, 3-4 posts per week, like. Yeah.
I think that was because of how much they need to post on TikTok. And that's why I actually opened the agency. I was starting with an advertising on TikTok, and then I realized how many clients are, requiring the content and how time consuming is that. So if you're not able to hire agency like we are, to do the content for you, as we do like a 15, 20, 30 videos a month, which is easier for us, of course. But if you want to do it by yourself, I would say like just make sure to do it, let's say maybe 2 times a month. Why? Because you want to keep up with the trends and to, make sure you're doing like to prepare your strategy, your ideas, scenarios, and then film in one day. You have everything prepared, film in one day, and then maybe one more day extra for editing, because it's, as I said, time consuming. So just make sure to have at least like, let's say 5 days a month where you will focus fully on creating the content to keep up with the trends and to make sure you will have time for everything else.
Yes, great. And a question for Brett. Subhan says Google Ads has higher CPC and requires more budget compared to Amazon. How can we optimize it for more profit? But Brett was saying that CPC is not bigger if you use Amazon targeted keywords.
Right. Yeah. So our experience has been the opposite, in that CPCs are usually lower with Google ads than they are even with sponsored product ads. So as an example, it's pretty common to run Google ads to your Amazon listing and pay like $1 a click. And most of the customers I know that are running Amazon ads are paying more than $1 a click for their Amazon ads, their sponsored product ads. But the difference is, if someone's on Amazon and they click on a sponsored product ad, the conversion rate is way higher. So there's generally better return, by running those Amazon ads. But the CPCs are usually higher on Amazon than they are on Google typically. There's not really a minimum budget required if you're running Google ads to Amazon. You can spend $10 a day, $5 a day, whatever. And I think it's okay to test really small there, just to see what keywords are converting and are you getting what appears to be quality clicks and things like that. If you start to invest in YouTube, that does require a certain level of spend, or else it's just not worth it, right? So Google search to Amazon, start wherever you want and just kind of measure the results. But similar to what Tamara said with TikTok, where they're 3,000 a month or more, kind of what you want. YouTube would be that or more. You want to get enough views, enough clicks to actually see, is this working or is this not? But yeah, I like starting with Google search to Amazon because CPCs are lower. You can start with whatever budget and just see what works.
So thank you very much. Subhan, just watch again Brett's presentation. He mentioned that and explained in more details.
Yeah.
So,
but I think the other, and just one other quick thing there is I would just look at, hold Google ads. Once you have Amazon attribution set up where you can get some details about sales, hold it to a high standard, hold it to the same performance that you'd want from Amazon. With the caveat, I would also look at tacos, because anytime you're doing, off Amazon advertising, there's going to be some of those sales that are not trackable. And so whatever you're spending on Google, is it either driving directly attributable sales through Amazon attribution, or is it creating enough lift on Amazon that you're still hitting your tacos goal? So I think those are the numbers you're really key in on to hit profitability. But yeah, that's how I would look at that.
Yeah, I would just like to say, sorry, Augustas, have to agree with Beth, of course, on this, and say usually with an Amazon sellers, I have came across those questions: why that much budget, at the beginning, why I cannot put just $5 a day, €5 or $5 per day, because it's limited for 20 on TikTok, at least. But the overall budget is maybe higher on a monthly basis, but the metrics are much, much lower. So you need to consider that, and to see performance over a month, and to see all the metrics and all the organic way and the paid way, and to see how that combines together and what are the real metrics at the end, having in mind the budget.
Great. Thank you very much for these answers. We will end the session, but first I want to show the websites of both of you, of your services. So Tamara, can you give us, maybe my screen is a little bit different, smaller. So one more time, how do you help Amazon sellers? I want just to show the creative website you have.
Yeah, thank you very much. It says TikTok agency that stops the scroll, but I know these things makes everybody scroll up and down just to play with it. Yeah. That was the game. But yeah, if you go to contact us, you can easily book the call with the Calendly, and we give you the free audit. And if you're already on TikTok, we will do the analytic, and see how you are doing already on TikTok, and give you some insights and how we can improve that. And of course, if you're not there, we can give you the first 3 months strategy along with the proposal and everything. But when you're scrolling through our website, you can even see at the beginning the pop-up of the case study that we have been doing with an Amazon seller, and we are currently doing one right now. So yes, yeah, that's the one.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you much. Thank you very much. You will find the link below in the description. And Brett, your company's website is here. OMG, oh my God, commerce. Is it what does it mean? So
it actually, the original name was Online Marketing Giant. It was a thrown together name. We'd help people become giants online. Anyway, that didn't stick, but OMG stuck, and so that's what we went with. But yeah, so we can help grow your B2C business through Google and YouTube and Facebook ads. We can help with retention through email and SMS, course, full growth on the Amazon platform, including Amazon DSP. Get some case studies there as well. And then, yeah, if you click on the Let's Talk button up in the upper right, that allows you then to request a strategy session. And we're happy to come in and just review what you've got, whether that's your Amazon ads, your DSP ads, your organic rankings on Amazon, or of course your Google and YouTube and Facebook approach. And so, yeah, a little bit about the team there, but very performance-focused, growth-focused agency, but also with the idea of building your brand and building your profitability. And so, yeah, would love to chat.
Great, thank you very much. Actually, Diego says great content, thanks a lot, and he's throwing one more question. If you plan to use influencers on TikTok, what budget would you consider logical to use for the launch of your first product? Do you have experience with that, Tamara?
Yes, so I just realized I didn't even mention when you were going through the website our services, but one of the services is actually influencer scouting, where we scout for the right influencers for your brand. To mention quickly, the first two are social media management, where we actually create the strategy ideas, copies, descriptions, create the UGC video for you, edit and post. So we are maintaining full profile on TikTok for brands, advertising on TikTok as official TikTok partners, and coming back to this question, working with the influencers. So if you plan to use influencers on TikTok, what budget would you consider logical to use? So I'm not sure what was the, is it a budget for the influencer or what, but I would like to mention that type of budget if I'm getting the question. So different types of influencers have different budgets, let's say. They will ask for some specific fee for the video. Some with a lower amount of followers will ask just for the product, but I would say those in the middle and the higher, influencers with higher engagement would ask for some fee. I would say some starting fees usually in the US are $300 per video, but it can go more, or it can be negotiable if you're doing on more channels, not only TikTok, but maybe YouTube, or doing on Instagram as well. So the price can be even lower. But to consider, I don't know, it depends of your budget, what you can do, but I'm just saying how it works on TikTok. I mean, for some crazy amount of followers, influencers, they can even charge for $10K for video, or $20K even for just one video on TikTok or Instagram. But I like to mention those that are even willing to do it for the product, or to be up to 500 per video. Those are most successful ones, let's say, with our clients. Those bigger ones are let's say, bigger cup of tea.
Great, thank you very much. All right, guys, thank you very much, both of you, Tamara and Brett. It was a pleasure, and good luck in your business, and see you next time.
Thanks, Augustas. Appreciate it. See ya.
See you.
Bye. And now I invite you to watch two more videos. One will be with Brett. It's I think he has already 10,000 views. 40 minutes, three strategies how to run Google Ads to Amazon listing, and another video where you will meet again Tamara, and she and another expert talks a little bit about TikTok and how it can be useful for Amazon sellers.